Welcome back to the Mookie Tilson channel, and you are looking live at For Collectors, For Collectors. That's for the numeral collectors, for the word collectors, which is an incredible idea for people who have amazing content, amazing collections, amazing conversations, amazing collaborations. They're combining all of their talents, all their different skill sets, all their different collections into one Voltron style robot machine that is going to take on all comers, create incredible content, destroy evildoers, destroy villages. I don't know what it's going to be great. I, for one, am so excited to see what they have to do. I love the name For Collectors, For Collectors. I will say it is much better than the longer title that they have abbreviated, which is For Collectors, For Collectors, 246 subscribers, 6 videos. I think they're very wise to cut it off at that first line. So great job editing in the first place. But two things you need to know about. Number one, there is a big live stream event that they're having this Saturday, August 27th, with a lot of other amazing collectors that are going to stream and do awesome content. So I'm excited to ignore my family and watch that. And there's a VR. So they put out a VR request. They want us to show 4 cards that represent 4 collectors and tag those people in there. And so I'm going to start. I'm actually going to do 2 groups here. First group is going to be for the 4 collectors. So here's my finger. This one is for Cesario from the Barrio. That's Fernando Valenzuela and Dwight Gooden. This reminds me of Caesar because he is a groundskeeper at Dodger Stadium, where Dwight Gooden loved to pitch. He thought the mound was a little too high or something, or just felt too high. And so he could dominate batters better there. He always did well and pitched well at Dodger Stadium. And so Caesar, this one's for you. The next one is another Gooden card, I'm sorry. But James Elite Hunters, I know you recognize this image. This is Dwight Gooden, the 10-story, 100-foot tall mural on the side of the building on 42nd Street in Manhattan that I know you probably saw as many times as I did back in the day. This was covered up in 1996 with a New York Knicks mural. Charles Oakley's painting went up there, which I think was wrong. But anyway, this card reminds me of James Elite Hunters. The next one is this guy. This is Bright Light Gizmo, and reminds me of John 3D 80s Kid. Of course, Mr. 80s pop culture. Every little drop he puts in his videos is hilarious and evocative of the time gone past when I grew up. And I happen to know that, just like Gizmo, if you feed John after midnight, bad things will happen. No spoilers, but bad things will happen. So don't get him wet, no bright light, and do not feed John or Gizmo after midnight. That's just a fresh tip. And then this card is my 1987 Topps Barry Bonds rookie. And this reminds me of my friend Theo Clemente Collector, who I know is a huge Pittsburgh Pirates fan, who is a big Killer Bees in the 80s fan, I'm sure. And this was the original Killer Bee, Barry Bonds, slightly better than Bobby Bonilla, who the Mets would end up getting. But this is from 1986 photo. So this was Barry Bonds whiffing or popping up against the New York Mets in 1986, the year they won the World Series. So this card reminds me of Theo. And plus it's taken at Chase Stadium. You can see the dugout, the familiar wood paneling in that dugout. So this reminds me of you, Theo. And I want to also point out, I got some more cards, and I'm going to keep going. So that was easy. These are the hosts. Those are the 4 collectors, 4 collectors. But this card reminds me of Double D Vintage baseball cards. My friend Dylan over there in Hawaii, who is a surfer and loves cards and loves pop culture. And so this card reminds me of him, because I know that if Dylan was there, he would be fighting crime with Batman and Robin alongside. I don't think he would not have the loot. He'd definitely be chasing the bad guy. So this card reminds me of Dylan. Here's another card. This card reminds me of my friend Scott from Reindeer Studios. My best friend Scott from Reindeer Studios. Scott is a great collector who is, of course, a huge Indians fan and has all things Guardians and Indians going on. But this is a Luke Easter exhibits card. And I know Scott his depth of knowledge and care of all things Indians just is really impressive to me. It makes me want to feel the same way about my own team, the Mets. And this card, just for the record, I may have shown this before, but you can see that's got a pinhole up there. So, Scott, this reminds me of you. Then there's Michael Jack Schmidt, which reminds me of Joe from Force Off Corners. Joe is a great guy who is always commenting and generously sharing his thoughts about everything that I put out there, and I really appreciate it. I think he creates awesome content. He has an incredible collection, and I really admire his. I'm a lo-fi card guy. I think Joe is a lo-fi card guy just like me, and I know Mike Schmidt is one of his favorites as a Philly fan, and this one also has been taken down from the Pinhole Holy Grail Wall of Fame. So that reminds me of Joe. This card is from my favorite insert set, the dual cards of the 1959 top set, and it's the National League Hitting Kings, and it's another Philly, Richie Ashburn, alongside a San Francisco Giants, Willie Mays. And this card reminds me of Sammy Thunder. And it reminds me of Sammy Thunder because I bought it from Sammy Thunder at the Fishkill Card Show in Fishkill, New York. It was such a treat to get to meet him. I had been watching his stuff and commenting on his stuff. And he's one of the guys who he actually pointed out to me, he pointed out to me a bunch of guys I had not listened to or connected with on YouTube. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, I'll check them out. And one of them was Reindeer Studios. I remember I said, Reindeer Studios, you sure? And of course he was right, as we all know. And so this is for Sammy Thunder. And then finally, this is 5 cards for 5 collectors. This is the original pinhole card of my Willie Mays, 1954 Topps Willie Mays. This is about as well loved as they come, creased and wrinkled and edge turned up, and it's got, as I like to say, it's got sort of a Big Dipper constellation of holes in the top of it. You can't really see, but if you shine a light behind it. And this card, I will always think of Shane Shoebox Legends for this card. This was the card from my very first YouTube video, What Would You Do with the Pinhole Card? And Shane was really the biggest impetus to push me to get on and start making videos. And so I will always think of Shane when I look at this card and the sort of inaugural YouTube video that I ever put out, and his constant support and generous thoughts and careful curation himself are an inspiration. So this is for Shane. And I think that's it. Again, I'm going to wrap this up. Remember, 4 collectors, 4 collectors. And the longer name was Nick's, 246 subscribers, 6 videos. So just 4 collectors, 4 collectors. The live stream is Saturday. I will be there, ignoring my family, ignoring work, and watching every millisecond of it. So thank you for watching this VR. Thank you to the collectors out there for issuing it. And we will see you on Saturday. Thank you.